Hunger is a cold, hollow thing. It lives in the bellies of the 21 Hominid huddled in the thin shade of a fig grove. It is a constant, quiet companion in this time of biting scarcity. Some 5 million years ago, these are diploid checkers, a species walking the razor's edge between the forest and the savanna, between the ape and the human. Their world is changing. The great, wet forests of their ancestors shrinking, leaving them exposed on a landscape that is growing hotter, drier, and more dangerous. Their bodies are compromised, long arms and grasping feet for a life in the trees they are leaving behind, and a pelvis awkwardly remade for the upright stride they are not yet masters of. They are a species in the painful process of becoming. Today, hunger has made them desperate. The old male, his face a mask of jutting, proud nay, dustbone and weary wisdom, has made a decision. The small game has vanished. The roots are woody and scarce. They will hunt the hunters. They will hunt the entelodonts, the hell pigs, great, brutish beasts with bone-crushing jaws that stalk the savanna fringe. It is a choice born of an empty stomach, a gamble that will likely cost them blood. For two of the youngest males, Ash and Lee, it is their first real hunt. It is the threshold they must cross to become men in the eyes of the clan, a vital passage in the long, unwritten story of our human ancestors. Leaf, though lame, is weary and alert, his eyes missing nothing. He holds his fire-hardened spear with a nervous readiness. Ash is another story. He is stronger than Leaf, his shoulders broader, but his strength is a cage for his fear. His knuckles are white where he grips his spear. His eyes are too wide, fixed on the distant, shimmering heat where the great pigs roam. He is a taut string, ready to snap. The hunters gather. There are 6 of them. The old male gives a low grunt, and they begin to move. A line of dark, shambling figures slipping from the shade of the grove into the blinding sun. They are a fragile David against a world of Goliaths, a small flicker of community in a vast landscape of prehistoric life. They have not gone 20 paces when Ash stopped. He does not stumble. He freezes. His feet are rooted to the baked turf. His body a statue of terror. The others move past him, but Meef stops, turning back. He sees the trembling in his HS spear arm, the sheen of cold sweat on his brow. The primal fear is a physical thing, a paralysis that has locked his friend in place. The old male looks back, his expression impatient, annoyed. A frightened hunter is a liability, a danger to everyone. This is a hard choice for the community, to abandon the weak link and proceed, or to abort a hunt they desperately need. But Leaf does not see a weakling. He sees his friend. He walks back to Ash, ignoring the old male's warding grunt. He stands before him, and for a long moment, does nothing. Then, in a gesture that is both simple and revolutionary, he reaches out and clasps his hand firmly around his HS spear arm. The trembling does not stop, but it is contained now, met by the pressure of Leaf's grip. Leaf leans in close, meeting his HS terrified gaze. He makes a sound, a low, guttural vibration in his chest, repeated twice. HNNH. HNNH. It is not a word. It is a feeling given voice, a sound that means, I am here. You are not alone. He then points to himself, then to Ash, and then forward. Together, it is an idea made visible, an abstract concept, solidarity, given form through touch, sight, and sound. It is the first promise. Ash takes a shuddering breath. The paralysis breaks. He takes a single, clumsy step, and then another. He and Leaf walk forward together, rejoining the hunters, their arms still clasped. They are no longer to frightened youth. They are a unit, bound by a new and powerful force, the invisible architecture of trust. The promise is a fragile shield against a world of teeth and thorns. The world they move through is a broken one. A woodland savanna mosaic of blinding grasslands stitched together with dark, tangled patches of forest. It is a landscape of ambush and exposure, offering no true safety. But the bond between Ash and Leaf has changed the nature of the hunt. They move in a way the older hunters do not. Their individual fears woven into a single, shared thread of caution. They maintain a low, constant chatter, a series of soft grunts and clicks that are less about information and more about presence. It is a form of vocal grooming, a sonic reassurance that stitches the space between them, a constant echo of the promise, you are not alone. Their survival skills are being rewritten in real time. Where a lone hunter would focus only on the tracks of the prey, they have become two sets of eyes working as one. Leaf, with his quick, darting gaze, watches the canopy, the branches, the places where danger drops from above. Bush, his fear now channeled into a powerful focus, watches the ground, the grass, the places where danger hides in plain sight. It is this coordinated intelligence that saves them. As they move along the edge of a dense thicket, Leaf suddenly stops. He makes a low, guttural sound, the one they use for snake, but his eyes are not on the ground. He is staring at a patch of dappled sunlight on the path ahead. Ash freezes, his eyes following Leaf's. He sees nothing but sun and shadow, but he trusts the promise. He trusts Leaf's senses as if they were his own. Leaf points with his chin at a low-hanging branch, and Ash sees it, the coiled, muscular tail of a saber-toothed cat, its body perfectly camouflaged in the leaves, waiting. They back away slowly, a single, synchronized retreat. They shared fear at all, not a paralysis. The trail of the entelodonts is a path of destruction. They find a young rhino carcass, its bones smashed and scattered, the ground churned into a bloody mire. The sheer violence of the scene is a testament to the power they are tracking. The fear returns, a cold knot in Ash's stomach. But this time it is different. He feels the familiar pressure of Leaf's hand on his shoulder, a silent renewal of the vow. The gesture is becoming their language, a physical expression of a concept so new it has no name. This is a critical step in the journey of early humans. The moment when social bonds become a tangible survival tool, as real and as vital as a sharpened spear. This is the foundation upon which the great structures of trust and cooperation in human evolution will be built. Their bond is tested again at a narrow, crumbling ravine that cuts across the savanna. They must cross a thin, precarious land bridge to follow the tracks. Leaf, lighter and more nimble, scrambles across with ease. But Ash, his heavier frame at disadvantage here, misjudges a step. The earth gives way. He cries out, a sharp yelp of terror, as he swayed, his spear lost, his hands clawing for purchase on the loose rock. He is saved from a fatal fall only by a gnarled root that juts from the cliff face. He clings to it, his legs dangling over the drop. Leaf, safe on the other side, could leave him. The hunt could be his alone. But the promise is a bond stronger than the fear of a lonely death or the lure of a singular glory. It is an act of pure altruism. He scrambles back to the edge, lies flat on his belly, and reaches down. His arm is too short. He shuffles closer, his own body now half of the void. Their fingers touch, then grip. It is the same clasp that began their journey, a grip across the void, a promise made real, with a great, grunting effort. Leaf holds fast, anchoring Ash as he finds his footing and pulls himself back to solid ground. They lie there for a long moment, panting, their bodies caked in dirt. The hunt is no longer about glory, or status, or food. It is about getting each other back alive. They find them in a shallow, muddy wallow, shaded by a stand of skeletal acacia trees. 3 entelodonts. They're massive, tusked heads lowered as they root in the mud. They are monsters of muscle and bone. Their small, main eyes scanning the horizon even as they feed. The other 4 hunters are already in position, a loose, silent crescent hidden in the tall, yellow grass. They have waited for the 2 youths, their presence a necessary component of this desperate equation. Ash and Leaf take their place at the far end of the crescent, their hearts pounding a frantic, terrifying rhythm. This is the moment. the final test of their courage, their skill, and their bond. The promise has carried them this far. But a promise cannot stop a charging hell pig. The old male gives the signal, a perfect imitation of a hawk's cry. 6 figures rise from the grass as one. The plan is not to kill, not at first. It is to separate, to confuse, to use their numbers and their intelligence to break the beast's brutal cohesion.
They march side by
They
side,
scream,
the raft
they wave their
balanced between
spears,
them, across
they
the
hurl
open plain
stones.
toward the river.
The entelodonts are startled, their great heads snapping up, mud dripping from their jaws. They are not afraid. They are enraged. One of the beasts, the largest, a great, battle-scarred male, fixes its gaze on the 2 ewes at the end of the line. It lowers its head and charges. The ground trembles. It is a runaway boulder of muscle and fury, and it is coming straight for Ash. Fear, cold and absolute, seizes him. The world narrows to the charging monster, the thundering hoofs, the glint of tusks. He is frozen again. The same paralysis that gripped him at the start of the hunt. His spear is a useless stick in his hand. But this time is different. He is not alone. Leaf screams his name, or the sound that is his name. A sharp, frantic bark. Ursh. Ursh. The sound cuts through the terror. He feels a hand on his back. A hard, desperate shove. It is Leaf, pushing him, breaking his paralysis, forcing him to move. Ash stumbles to the side, and the entelodont thunders past, its tusks missing him by a hand's breadth. The beast, its charge spent, crashes into a thicket of thorns, roaring in frustration. This is the moment of social cohesion that is their only true weapon, while the great male is entangled. The other hunters swarm the 2 smaller pigs. Their spears a flurry of quick, stabbing attacks. A spear finds a soft spot behind a shoulder. A well-aimed rock stuns another. The hunt becomes a chaotic, brutal dance. But the great male is free. It turns, shaking its massive head, and charges again, this time at Leaf. Leaf is not fast enough. The beast hits him with the force of a falling tree, sending him flying. He lands in a heap at the edge of the same ravine that almost claimed Ash. His leg bent at an unnatural angle. The entelodont is on him, its great head lowered to deliver the final, bone-crushing bite. Ash does not think. He acts. The promise. The grip on the arm. The shared terror. The rescue at the cliff. It all culminates in this single, reciprocal act. He runs at the beast from the side, screaming. The wild, desperate sound of rage and fear. He is no match for it, and at attacking a bull, but his charge is a distraction. It is enough. The other hunters, having driven off the smaller pigs, now turn their attention to the great male. Their spears find their marks. The beast staggers, wounded, confused by the attacks from all sides. It looks from the screaming Ash to the other hunters, and its brutal, simple calculus of survival tells it the fight is lost. It turns and lumbers away, a trail of dark blood marking its retreat. The hunt is over. They have meat, but Ash is not looking at the spoils. He is at the edge of the ravine, where Leaf lies, conscious but in agony. Ash does not have the knowledge to set a bone. He has only the promise. He grips his friend's arm, the same grip that started it all. He will not let him fall. He and another hunter make a crude stretcher from their spears and a hide. They carry Leaf, a slow, painful, and triumphant procession back to the grove. Ash has not returned with a trophy to prove his manhood. He has returned with something far more important. His friend. Their story will become a part of the clan's oral history. A lesson that will ripple down through generations, long after their bones have settled into the African dust, waiting to be found and catalogued in the ever-growing fossil record. It is the story of the invention of trust. The promise was a technology as revolutionary as the first sharpened stone. It was an invention of the mind, a tool for building not a shelter, but a society. It allowed two small, terrified hominids to become stronger than the sum of their parts, to face a world that was bigger and stronger than they were, and to win. This is the quiet, emotional core of the evolution documentary. The story not of how our brains got bigger or our tools got sharper, but of how our hearts learned to trust. Every contract we sign, every vow we make, every hand we extend to a friend in a moment of fear is a direct descendant of that first desperate clasp on a trembling arm. It is the invisible architecture that allows us to rule cities, to cross oceans, to dream of stars. It is the simple, profound understanding that the most powerful survival tool we have ever created is the belief in each other. To remember their story is to remember the very foundation of our humanity, the bond that allowed our fragile lineage to not only survive, but to one day inherit the earth. That is the chronicle we are charged to keep. If you can feel the echo of that first promise in your own relationships, then join us. Place your hand beside theirs and leave your own mark on the story. The hunt is over, but our need for the courage that only trust can provide is eternal. Their first tool was not stone, but a promise gift. What new promises must we invent to survive the hunts of our own time?